.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
WOKB, Winter Garden, Orlando.
Welcome to another edition of Real Family Talk. Hello. Welcome to another week of Real Family Talk. This is your host, Jay Real. I hope everybody's having a wonderful Tuesday evening. It is nice and cool in the city of Orlando here. It feels really good. Feels really good out here right now. But we will go ahead and press forward tonight. We're kind of missing some people. That's okay. We always hold it down when we're missing a few people. Kind of excited tonight. Tonight's going to be the last live show that we have this year. We'll have some recordings on over the next couple of weeks, and we'll be back as of January 8th. But tonight will be the last live show we do this year. So we're going to have some fun tonight. We will get into, we're going to talk about what happened in Connecticut a little bit. And then I'm going to talk about some stuff that happened at ESPN over the last week as well, real quick as well. But after that, man, we're just going to have some fun, talk about some funny topics that have happened over the course of the year, over the course of the last couple of weeks or so. And we'll kind of go from there. But let's go ahead and welcome everybody to join me tonight. I got Jeremy's in the building. How you doing, Jeremy?
I'm good as always. How's everybody doing out there?
Oh, and then we have Miss McCrae's here. How you doing, Miss McCrae?
I'm blessed. It's Tuesday.
It is Tuesday. You know, my little, I told Miss McCrae this. My little boy loved it when Miss McCrae said, it's Tuesday. He loves to repeat that back when he hears that little part. But we'll move on. Another sad day today. The Steelers lose again.
Oh, I didn't realize that was a sad occasion.
It is a sad occasion.
Nobody let me know that.
A sad occasion, lose again to the Dallas Cowboys.
I think that was the sad part, that they lost to the Cowboys.
To the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's the sad part.
Man. In overtime. I was hearing some highlights of the game because I missed it because I had to go to church on this Sunday evening. But the Cowboys had, I think, 9 penalties. They said the Steelers ended up whole game no penalties, but still no progress either. Come on, man. They're killing me, man. They're killing me. The season is almost over for the Steelers. I mean, it's getting worse for them with the way the playoff season goes. But I think mathematically, they're still in it mathematically. But
yeah, they are.
But it's not looking good. It's not looking good, man. The Cowboys game was a game we needed to win, at least just to maintain pace. And disappointing we didn't make it happen this week. But, man, like I said, mathematically, we're still in the hunt. I think the last 2 games coming up, we got Cleveland coming up. And then we got, let's see, who's that other opponent that we got? We got Cincinnati coming up. So we got to win that Cincinnati game.
Is Cleveland at home?
The Cleveland game is going to be at home. Yep, Cleveland game is going to be at home. Cincinnati game is going to be at home as well. So we got 2 home games coming up here. And we'll see what happens. Man. Hopefully we can close these 2 games out. And by the stroke of some luck here, we'll get in the playoffs. And once you're in the game, once you are in the playoffs, anything is possible. So that's what we'll hope for the Steeler Nation out there. Shout out to all them Steelers fans, as always. But I will move on. So, of course, the whole country is out there talking about what's happened in Connecticut on Friday. Of course, everybody knows what happened in the shooting. 407-894-1680 is the number. 407-894-1680 is the number. If you want to give us a call, comment on it. But, of course, everybody's talking about that shooting and the death of the children and some of the administration, teachers, principal, and whatnot. And of course, that's a sad event. Sort of, kind of what disappoints me in the whole situation is, the next conversation, of course, is guns are evil, and we got to somehow figure out how to ban guns in this country. And, if the gun laws were stricter, somehow this tragedy would have been averted and blah 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 blah.
Don't do that. Don't do that. That's a serious conversation.
I respect that it's a serious conversation. What I question is
the timing.
The timing is number one, and then number two, guns don't kill people. People kill people. So that guns aren't the problem. It's people are the problem. And in this particular situation, essentially what we have here is sort of like what happened a few months ago with the Batman thing. You have a sick, deranged individual that committed a heinous act that just so happened to be committed with a gun. But it's not the gun or gun control. It's a heinous act committed by a deranged individual. And so you can't, you're addressing the deranged individual. You're not addressing the gun. And by, quote unquote, making gun laws stricter, you're not preventing the individual for doing something deranged.
It's both. The conversation needs to be had. If the insane person doesn't have access to an automatic weapon, why do you need a rifle like that? Why do you need a semi-automatic weapon with magazines that can shoot hundreds of bullets per second? Why? What do you need that for? If you're not in the military, if you're not in law enforcement, why does an individual person need that type of gun?
Well, I'm gonna tell you what they use it for. A lot of people, serious hunters, hunt with that type of stuff. I mean, serious hunter. I'm not a serious hunter. I've only been hunting once in my life. It's kind of fun, but anyway, serious hunters, they do use those. Now, I'm not saying they necessarily need that, but in all honesty, like you said, my whole problem with the whole gun control thing is people who want to commit acts like this, they're gonna get guns regardless, and what they're gonna do is they're gonna steal them. Or they go take them from somebody, they go break in the store, steal them that way. I mean, that's how criminals get guns. They don't get guns through legal measures. They get them through illegal measures.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, some of that is filtered down from law enforcement. From you got crooked people everywhere.
Right.
It's filtered down through government. When stuff's supposed to get destroyed, stuff gets sidetracked and lost and all that kind of stuff, and they end up in the wrong people's hands. Those type of things need to be controlled more. Legal citizens. I mean, the citizens having guns legally isn't the big picture. It's really the illegal means by where people maintain them.
Right.
And
that's the bigger problem.
Yeah, that's the problem.
But go ahead, Ms. McCray.
Again, why do you need this type of weapon? Why does this woman, who's not a hunter, lives in the suburbs of Connecticut, this small town, but you have multiple guns, 4 of them, and then this semi-automatic weapon for fun, just to go shoot it, just because I like to shoot guns?
Well, let me say this. They are in the Northeast. It is a small town, but there's a lot of woods and wilderness up there. I mean, I don't know. Maybe she was a hunter. I mean, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But if she obtained it legally, you can't you can't control what your son's going to do, especially if he's got a mental illness. Right. It's nothing you gonna be able to do. If he didn't use a gun, he was gonna do it with a knife. Obviously he wouldn't be able to cause as much damage, but he still would have took lives if that was his goal.
Right. Right. And that's my overall driving point here. Is I don't think we need to be discussing gun control and gun laws, because I think, there's lots of gun laws out there. There's lots of rules and regulations. There's hoops that you have to cross to get a gun, so that, clearly this lady passed the muster. Unfortunately, she didn't, I guess, take these further action and realizing that her son was, potentially a lost individual and might do something with her legally obtained guns. But it's not guns that are the issue, which I think is sad. I mean, if you want to talk about the situation, I mean, address the situation, address the fact that, these little kids lost their lives. But to have this whole now, momentum and movement, and kind of basically using this event, to spearhead a movement that has been, underground and bubbling for years, really. And now, the fact that, little kids' faces are sort of, spread all over the place. Now it's like, this is our opportunity. This is our moment. If there was no other moment in time that we could do this, this is the moment. And so let's push. And so here you go, down there pushing. Now they got, bills that have been sitting by the wayside are now coming to the forefront, because it's like the push is there. If we can get it through while the little kids are in their faces, then we can squeeze it on in there. And it's like, you're not solving anything, because even if you do take these guns from being, legally obtained, let's be honest. So what are you going to do? So you're going to say, all right, all of these guns are now mandated to be turned in to the government. So now what are you going to do? Trust? Because you're not going to send military, or you're not going to send police out to all the different homes of quote unquote people who own these guns to collect them. You're going to essentially have to basically send out a mandate that they're illegal, and then now trust that people are going to bring them back to you. Okay, which, let's be honest, if I am a citizen who was, went out and purchased one of these guns, which I did under my legal right, and now the government, because of an issue, now wants to mandate that I can't have this particular gun anymore. These types of people aren't finna just, willy-nilly go, okay, they said they're illegal now, guys. All right, everybody, Jim, Bob, Willie, let's take our guns in and turn them into the government. No, you know what I'm saying? They're not gonna bring these guns back, number one. And then number two, all you're gonna really see, I bet you're gonna see, if the government says, all right, we'll give you $400 a gun, what you're going to see on the black market is somebody going to give you $600 for a gun. So then now they're going to be being obtained illegally, because the black market is undercutting the government by $200, or I should say upping the price by $200. And so who you going to get a gun to at that point? Yes, there's going to be some individuals that turn it into the government, but there's going to be quite a few individuals that go make that extra $200.
Okay.
And so now you're going to have this market flooded with illegal semi-automatic guns, and then now you still got the same problem. So getting the gun back or banning the gun existence is not the issue. You just have to, these types of events are rare in occurrence.
Apparently they're not.
They are.
Apparently they're not. If they said what, 37 or so since 1962 or something, I forget the numbers, but
37 of these events since 1962.
Right.
That's
so
rare.
Okay, you tell that to the people that this happened to.
I mean, obviously, if I was a parent in the situation, yes, I would understand that losing my child is certainly not the most advantageous point I want to be in my life. Yeah. But saying that this event is often because there's been 37 since 1962.
The point is, you don't want it to be 38. And if we can do something about it so that it doesn't become 38,
deranged people are going to take. So you take away the semi-automatic. So now they'll go obtain, 3 or 4 45s, load them up to the clip, and then now they'll go shoot 3 or 4 45s at a time. So you're not solving any problems. If you want to go out and commit mass murder, you're going to find the weapon of choice to go out and commit mass murder.
So what's the solution?
Gun trolls aren't the. There is no solution, because you can't control deranged, crazy people. Yeah. You can't regulate crazy. You can't create a law that's going to prevent crazy. Crazy people are going to do crazy things. And we're going to have to experience their crazy event at some point of our lives, or see it or be a part of it. But you can't stop crazy. There is no regulation for crazy. You can go out and build bombs with household products at Walmart. Right. Crazy is crazy. Whatever means, if you want to do something catastrophic, the means is out there. You have the internet, you can find anything you want to do on the internet. You can find all the most obscure things that you can go find at Walmart and put together the most deranged thing that you can do if you so desire, if you're that crazy and want to do it. So stopping the event is not the solution. You just have to deal with the tragedy, which, and I understand people don't want to hear that. And that's not the popular thing. But you can't regulate crazy, To me, it's funny that, we come to this conclusion based on what's happened in Connecticut. But you look at a place like Chicago. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You look at a place like Chicago, and you got all of these, dead young black teens and Latinos I think what we're at, a couple of thousand in the last 3 or 4 years or something like that.
It's crazy.
And you know, where's the outcry for that?
The same gun control, the same people who have been trying to push this legislation through, now because it is come and it's faces of babies that's making it in the forefront, being able to push it through. It's been there. This conversation has not been just laying dormant. People have been having this conversation about gun violence.
Are you saying 407-894-1680? 407-894-1680. I haven't heard anybody advocating gun control based on the idea that young black teens and Latinos are dying at an enormously rate in the state of Illinois.
Let me say this: you haven't heard. Let's try to state what's the political correct way of saying this.
Just say it, bro.
You haven't heard any of the, not that any of the other. You haven't heard much of the others having this big outcry about gun control when it was just isolated to poor urban neighborhood or poor urban neighborhoods. You know, like you said with Chicago, for an example. I mean, come on, it's a war zone up there in some of them blocks. I mean, literally, it's a war zone. Like you can't. Some people they don't even go to the store at night. When the sun go down, they just stay in the house, and they stay as low as they can. You know what I'm saying? Now that's every day. You know, this is not a one time. Oh, such happened. This is every day. But obviously, you have certain people in Chicago trying to do certain things. But outside of that, you don't see no congressmen talking about, oh, we need to stop gun control Chicago. You don't see nobody outside of Illinois or anybody really having a big outcry about the violence there.
Right, because they're looking at it as gang-related activities.
Right. But
nobody has gone into a Chicago school and shot up 6-year-olds and 7-year-olds.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, I mean, and not to say that these black men aren't important, because you don't want anybody to die to gun violence. But if this is a crime related to gang violence.
But a lot of it's not. See, that's the other issue. I mean, obviously, the most of the people dying probably are people involved in illegal activities. But you have a whole big percentage of innocent bystanders, you know, and you talking about babies ranging from 1 year old and up.
Yep.
You know,
407-894-1680. 407-894-1680. Yeah, that's my thing though, man. But I mean, do I think there should be stricter gun laws? No. Is this because I own a gun? No, because I don't own a gun. I've actually only shot a gun once in my life. And I can count that on with one finger. So it's not so much that I'm some big gun advocate. It's just that I believe in rights. And there's a right to own a gun. And most gun owners, I mean, probably 90% of gun owners are responsible gun owners. It's that small percentage of the people, mainly, in that illegal racket that we're really talking about, where you have, the most gun violence, and then, every now and then, unfortunately, a deranged man pops up with a crazy plan, and he execute said crazy plan. As far as what you can do, the only thing you really can do is, stay prayed up. That's what you can do.
Yeah. At the end of the day,
that's what it's about. At the end of the day, all you can do is stay prayed up. Stay, keep your mind focused on God, and God's plan. And, hopefully it's God's plan that, none of this, while you may see it, none of this actually affects you. And hopefully that's God's plan. And that's about all you can do, really. Because like I said, you can regulate, you can ban guns like they did, in the UK. And the only people that can carry a gun would be the police. But in a country like ours, at that point, that means you have to now expect millions, probably hundreds of millions of people to somehow now fork over every single gun they own to the government in order to make a ban like that, really stick. And it's not realistic. It's not realistic. I mean, you can put the legislation in place, but it's not realistic to believe just because you mandated this after years of freedom that somehow things are going to change related to guns. And so I think there's a better conversation to be had. I think the president said it best when he suggested, this is what happened when you take God out of the equation, and that kind of sums it up. All you can do is put God back in the equation, put prayer back in schools. And, at the very least, what you do is, from now on, you make sure every school in America has at least a officer there that is legally allowed to carry a gun. And if the school's big enough, maybe you put 2 or 3. And then now you have something in place to help prevent this situation. Does it stop it completely? No. Does it help maybe possibly get it to the point where you don't have 26 victims? Yes. Because maybe you only have now 2 instead of 26 because you do have some resource available to kind of step in and handle that situation. And that's about all you've done. And you see across the city, in most of the counties in this area, from what I understand, you've seen a huge increase in security presence in terms of local police at a lot of the schools around in Lake County and Orange County and Volusia and Seminole and so forth. I know out even in Lake County, I think it's Lake Mineola, I heard that they had a threat over there, and so they stepped it up and put metal detectors up in the school, and so everybody running through the scans of the metal detector now, in addition to the increase in police security presence. So that, to me, that's your solution. You put some security at the school, and you put armed guards at every school in America. 1, 2, 3, depending on sizes of the schools or whatnot, maybe budget. But I say you have to extend the budget to make it happen.
That's the thing. Gotta find the money.
That's your solution.
That's part of that magic money I've been talking about. We gotta find that magic money.
That's the solution.
This is the time.
That's that solution, and then now you have a security presence that has a gun that can help step in and solve a situation, as opposed to some teacher or administrator, yelling, "Hey, stop!" And that's about all you can do. I heard there's one congressman in the state of Florida here that suggested, all teachers should be allowed to carry guns in the classroom. That is, crazy. All teachers do not. I don't know about
that. I know some teachers I had. I know they ain't need no weapon
to carry guns into the classroom. That's to me, that's just ridiculous. But you put a police presence there at every school in the country. You extend budgets to make it happen, and there's your solution. Will it prevent it completely? Nope. Will it help in the situation if it ever rises again? Yep. And that's about all you can do. Other than that, stay prayed up, keep God on the mind, and you move forward. That's about all you can do with that. 407-894-1680 is the number.
I disagree with you.
That's
what we do. That's what we do.
But I'm okay with that.
These guns gotta go. These semi-automatic weapons. You know what the solution should be? Make bullets crazy expensive.
You know what? But
make them expensive.
But here's the issue. Well, here's the original reason behind the Second Amendment was, when they first started America, is the British came in. When they came over, they wanted to kind of take their power back, to being over here and really take control of the colony. They tried to seize all the weapons so they couldn't have nothing to fight with. So when they did the Constitution, they wanted to make sure that the people were never in a position where they can just be took over by the government. So you can be armed if you were unjustly attacked or whatever. Detained, right. That you had the right to defend yourself. That was the whole point behind it. And that's why, people who are really about it, I'm not just talking about people who just want guns. I'm talking about people who are really behind the Second Amendment. That's what it's about. And it really is it really, in times like these, honestly, because that's where this can be leading to, when you're saying, okay, we need to take the guns, it's out of control. Okay, so they take the guns. What's stopping them from saying, this is a new law, you got to do it? And then you say, oh no, all these people out there protesting. Don't think people can't get shot at protests. It happened. Remember, it happened in the 70s here in this country. Mm-hmm. It happened. It happens in other countries all the time.
Right.
And to be honest with you, that's what this country is headed down that road of being just like all these countries we quote unquote trying to free and bring democracy in. Mm-hmm. That's where we're headed. That's what all this stuff it is. That's what's happening. Slowly, freedoms are going to get taken away as we realize how dangerous this world really is. See, the problem is we're not used to this being on our doorstep. Things like this happen in other countries all the time. So a lot of other people, they sitting back like, okay, okay, what's the big deal?
Exactly.
Seriously. And I'm not making light of the situation at all in Connecticut, because it really is a real tragedy. But at the end of the day, like you said, you got to keep God first and keep prayed up. You can't live in fear. We weren't put on this earth to live in fear. It's just another trick of the enemy to keep us scared and take the focus off what it need to be on. You stay prayed up. You pray for your kids and send them to school, and trust that God go take care of them. If God call them home, it's nothing we're going to do about it anyway.
Exactly.
And I'm a believer. I really am. But I also believe that those parents prayed with their kids. These were normal working class people. They families taking care, prayed for their children, protect them. Nobody they can't be okay with this. Nobody's okay with this. And these guns are the problem. And then with the amendment was written, they didn't have semi-automatic weapons back in 1776. They had the muskets and
they had muskets. The government had semi-automatic weapons. They had the Gatling gun still. They just rotated it.
Slingshots. You know, it's a completely different time. So
true it is. Now you think about it. Okay, a semi-automatic weapon. Honestly, compared to what they really got, it's nothing.
Well, it's nothing.
When the government showed up your doorstep shooting a 50 cal, you go run with your M16.
Mm. Well, wait a minute. When the government show up with its drone
and
blow you up
that
from
drone,
the sky.
they just send it to drop it on your house. You be like, that 45, that AK ain't doing nothing for you. Because they don't even got to be, that's the thing, they don't even got to be around you. They can be on the other side of the country and send it to you. You know, so it's I mean, you know, I want to get in this big gun debate because, you know, it's just one of them things. Some people go agree, you're not going to disagree. But at the end of the day, obviously it was God's will. He says he's not going to put nothing more than you can bear. So at the end you have to trust and believe. And that's usually what happens. I mean, a lot of this stuff is just, it's test of your faith. Because everybody's faithful, everybody believes until something real tragic happens. Then it's like, okay, now do you still really believe, or are we just going to run off the human emotions, you know?
And you know what? I hear you on that.
407-894-1680. Go ahead.
There's God, and then there's the devil. That was not God's will. That was nothing but the devil, the demons, the evilness of somebody.
I'm not saying it wasn't the devil's actions. When I say it's God's will, because he allowed it to happen. That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying God sent that man in there. What I'm saying is God allowed that to happen, because nothing gonna happen unless he says so. At least that's what I believe. Though he used a lot of different methods to get his point across, and unfortunately sometimes that's the way he does it. You know, obviously we know we are human. Obviously we're not gonna agree with everything he does, but at the end of the day, whether you agree with it or not, this is what it is. That's what he said. You got to have faith and believe that he's not going to put nothing more than you can bear. You got to stay prayerful, stay in your word. But I'm telling you, we need a preacher here tonight. That's what we need. Seriously, we really need a preacher here tonight, because, you know, I don't know the Bible like that. Like it was just funny. I was just reading, and I believe it was Habakkuk today, and it was when he was asking God why he would use the Syrians to destroy Israel, people who worship idols and all that stuff, to destroy his own people. You wouldn't understand.
Yeah, I agree, man. 407-894-1680. 407-894-1680 is the number. Like you said, there's nothing you can do to prevent crazy. So the only thing you can do is just that. You gotta stay prayed up, stay your mind focused on God, and whatever he wills to happen will happen. And you just kind of have to deal with the rest. That's sort of my driving point. I see we have a caller. How you doing tonight, caller?
I'm doing well. I was listening to y'all's calls, and I mean, you're not your calls, but what you were discussing. And I think I heard you right when you said it was his will, you know, because God just let it happen. That's not his. He doesn't use bad things to get our attention per se. God doesn't need to use evil to get the world attention, so to speak, or whatnot. That's not scriptural. But bad things happen because we live in a fallen world, because we have sinners, we have free will, we have the freedom to make the right choice or the wrong choice. And unfortunately, a lot of us make the wrong choices. And I agree with you when you said that it's about the guns. Part of it is guns, but the other part of it is our culture. We have a violent culture. We have violent video games. We have violent movies, TV programming. We're not teaching our children consequences. It's all of those things wrapped up together. And as a nation, we need to come together and really parent our kids. We really need to stop with not having consequences, because that's dangerous when you raise a child who does not know consequences.
All right. I appreciate that, your comment. I'm sorry. I didn't catch your name.
I'm Chandra.
Chandra. All right. Thank you for calling in, Chandra. We appreciate that. And that's the other argument that they throw out there as well. We live in such a violent world, and I'd agree. There's a lot of violent things that we do, but there's a lot of things that we do in terms of video games and movies. But I don't think those in and of themselves are the trigger that causes crazy. I think crazy is just a natural thing that was supposed to happen in that individual, and a video game is not going to amplify that crazy. A video game.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so.
Not in a deranged mind, yes.
Yeah.
In a sane mind, no. But when you're off kilter and you can't distinguish. I wouldn't say not distinguish reality, but you don't have. Some people don't have that switch in their brain to say, okay, this is not the right thing to do.
Right.
Some people, they go in and say, okay, I want to do this. I'm gonna set it up just like the video game.
But the thought didn't come from the video game.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So
no,
I don't think again, I don't think the video game plays a role or the movie, because there's been violent movies. We live in America. America's built on violence and tragedy. So that it's who we are as a country. That's how we get things accomplished.
Yeah.
Literally. That's what we do. To accomplish things in America, we use violence and tragedy. That's what we do. So in and of itself, it's not the problem. It's just, crazy is just crazy. I'm sorry. That's just the way I see it. And you can't regulate crazy no matter what you do. But we'll move on from this. I want to kind of keep it light for the rest of the show here, as we kind of close out the year. As we close out the year, we kind of went a little longer than I expected on that, but that's okay. It's a good topic. But we do say send our prayers out to those families in Connecticut for sure, regardless of what my opinion is about gun laws. I want to keep it light, though, for the next few minutes here. I want to start with something that I was talking to some coworkers today, and of course, one of the big phenomenons this year was Honey Boo Boo. I don't know if you've seen a Honey Boo Boo episode. I'm sure you've at least heard the name Honey Boo Boo. Of course, Honey Boo Boo is a little girl who was on one of those reality shows. I think the Toddlers and Tiaras or something like that. And the family was so wild and outrageous, the network TLC decided to give the whole family their own little show. So what my coworker was telling me, because apparently she got caught up in watching the on-demand of the show and apparently couldn't stop.
I can't do it.
Apparently she couldn't stop. She couldn't stop listening. But the thing that really caught me is apparently one of their favorite meals is spaghetti, as they call it.
What? Spaghetti?
They're trying to say spaghetti.
Oh my God.
That's the funny part.
And so hold on.
Spaghetti.
So here's what it is. Okay, obviously there's noodles involved, but let's talk about the sauce. So apparently for the sauce, what they do is in a glass bowl, they dump several spoonfuls of butter. And then after they dump several spoonfuls of butter, they squeeze, I said squeeze, a good amount of ketchup into the same bowl, put it in the microwave, mix it up, and drop it on top of their noodles.
That's their spaghetti. I'm like, I don't use butter in my spaghetti at all.
That's
like
deep.
What is that?
That's deep. That's deep right now.
So
Ew.
butter.
That's deep.
And ketchup on top of some noodles. Spaghetti.
Oh my God. And you know what? Because this has been a phenomenon, I've turned to TLC to watch one episode to see what this foolishness was about. And obviously these are unhealthy people, the way they look and they carry themselves if they're eating like this. And the episode that I watched, they went to an auction to auction off snack food. So they were buying like cookies and Oreos and cakes and box loads of snacks. And this was like, that was their dinner. And then the mom was like, yeah, I got to get on my diet. Ma'am, You just bought 3 boxes of snacks. And they went to the auction for these snacks. What?
Honey Boo Boo, I mean.
What is this madness? I said, I can't do it. I can't participate in this. Turn it off.
This is, I don't know. To me, the thing I really don't like about it, it almost seemed like this channel was making a mockery of them.
Oh, yeah.
And now, obviously, they cutting the check. So I'm sure they like, okay, I know you laughing at us. Because, people think because people be country and stuff, they slow and stupid. But they ain't dumb. They just don't care. They live how they live and they don't care. And they probably just sitting back, okay, well, we'll make some money while y'all sitting here with these cameras, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know, me, I just can't get with it. It's too much for me.
That I mean, it
control.
is. It's just too much. It's out of control. I mean, like I said, that was the killer for me. I mean, like I said, I knew there was a lot of foolishness, but ketchup, butter, for some spaghetti sauce.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, you got to be kidding me, man.
That's how some people do it. I guess
you can't get more. I don't even know. Is that even country? I mean,
they what do they call? They call themselves rednecks.
They do call
rednecks.
But I can't imagine every redneck making spaghetti sauce.
Nah, I know every redneck don't make spaghetti sauce like that.
Butter
and ketchup.
That's a whole.
That's a whole nother level. And the father made sure he told her how great of a cook she was after eating a spaghetti.
Hearts blocked, arteries about to explode.
Because apparently that's one of the family's favorite meals. Apparently.
Oh gosh!
But you know what the funny thing about that is, as unhealthy as we seen live, how come they seem to live longer than most of us?
They.
Well, I know what it is. It's the stress factor is what it is. That's what
I think it has a lot to do with it. I think stress is bigger than anything else. But that is definitely not healthy.
No, not at all.
And it don't even sound tasty. Let alone I can't imagine it being tasty.
Somebody like it.
I suppose so.
For some reason.
I suppose so. Speaking of the channel TLC, they have another program coming on. That it hasn't aired yet. They're just advertising it. It was supposed to air after Christmas, but in light of everything that's happened in Connecticut, they pushed it back to the beginning of January. And this is another reality TV show that they're going to do. And I have to admit, I'm looking forward to this one.
Absolutely not.
I am looking forward to this one. This one is going to be entitled Best Funeral Ever. Best Funeral Ever. 407-894-1680 is the number. Best Funeral Ever is what this one's going to be entitled. And the premise of the show is that there is a funeral home in Dallas, which, the funeral director says he specializes in homecoming services. But I'll take a moment. I see we have a caller here. How you doing, caller?
Hello, Real Talk family.
Hey, Mr. Jimmy Shine. What's going on, brother?
Once again. Well, of course I had to jump in. It's the last live show of the year.
Yes, it is, sir. Go ahead. What's going on?
By the way, thank you for having a live show because what I've noticed is it's the end of the year and a lot of WOKB shows, they've just gone to tape. So thank you guys for having a live show.
Okay.
And,
you're welcome.
There are some people who have something to say.
What's going on, brother? What you got to say tonight?
Oh, wow. Where do you start? Where do you even begin? I know you wanted to keep it light, and you wanted to say something else, but this Manchurian candidate that let loose in Connecticut, I'm not buying it at all. I'm not buying it at all. A 20-year-old, when does an unemployed 20-year-old man living in a home with his mama get that kind of exclusive training? I mean, this guy was like a veteran soldier out there. And he was shooting people down, reloading among dead bodies, and then shot some more people down. And he wasn't sweating. He wasn't nervous. He had his stuff together. This boy was like a veteran soldier. To me, he had some special training. He had some special training, and in that case, and what that means to me is Manchurian candidate.
So let me ask you this.
All right.
I had a buddy of mine text me. I hadn't heard anything about this until a buddy of mine texted me today. But are you suggesting that there is a conspiracy theory behind the Connecticut shootings here?
Mm-hmm.
Is that exactly what you're suggesting to me right now?
Yes.
Jimmy Shine. Both Jimmys.
Hold on, I want to hear this though. I want to hear what he had to say. I want to hear this.
God.
I simply believe that a normal 20-year-old, he's going to be screaming, he's going to be yelling stuff, he's going to be cussing at him. This kid was just like, he was too smooth. He was too well trained and proficient in these tactical weapons. Okay, now the story is, well, he got him from his mama, and his mama was a gun nut. Now, I'm going to ask you, Brother J. Real, does your mama keep 3 loaded weapons around her house?
No, she does not, Jimmy. She does not keep 3 loaded weapons around her house.
My mama hate guns. She don't like no guns around her house. This woman has, according to the media, if you can believe it, and by the way, don't even try to change the. Facebook is eliminating people who try to ask a question, alter anything other than the original story.
Yeah, I heard that. I saw an article about that.
They will delete your account.
Yeah, I saw an article that someone, the headline said Facebook deleted the account of someone who was creating a Connecticut shooting conspiracy. Yeah, I saw that.
They were simply asking ulterior questions. They'll say, okay, if he was so crazy, or he was crazy as you say he is, and autistic, how was he able to steal his mama's car, drive to her place of work, and begin to shoot down all of her coworkers and students? If he was as crazy and nuts as you say he was, and then of course there's this Connecticut police officer who gets on television and threatens the public. If you ask any other questions than what the original story is, we will have you arrested. What, just for asking a question? I can't even ask a question? What are we in Nazi Germany now? You can't even ask a question.
That's crazy.
Oh, to me, it smells cover up. It's just like after 9/11 when people go, I saw that building, it blew up and it fell straight to the ground. You trying to a plane did it. Come on, man. You try to ask another question and see what happened to you. And next thing you know, FBI agents are knocking on your door, So come on, people. I'm just saying, put 2 and 2 together. This is not what it appears to be. I've heard what they said, but I'm an adult, and I've been an adult a long time now. I was born at night, but it wasn't last night. and I know for a fact that no 20-year-old man living at home eating corn chips and watching TV does not have that type of proficient training in tactical weapons like that and go out and shoot them people down like that. I'm just a little suspicious of that kind of thing.
All right, man. We appreciate the comment, Jimmy Shine.
I hope to see you guys next year.
We will. You will see us next year, Jimmy Shine. January 8th.
Huh.
All right now.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. But I'll just say this about what Brother Shine said. That's on my list of things to do. Like I said, my buddy texted me today that this was going on. But I'm going to check it out and at least read what they had to say. But in terms of this particular shooting, I'm not so sure about the conspiracy theory. On the 911, I'm right there with you, brother. We can do 911 conspiracies all day. Because I don't believe the planes sent no buildings down either. But the Connecticut one, I'm not ready to go there.
I'm sorry, Jimmy.
I'm not ready to go. I think we did just have one crazy brother. but I'll move on. 407-894-1680 is the number. You're welcome to comment on any of these conversations we brought up this evening. But so back to TLC real quick. Show's called Best Funeral Ever. So there's a funeral home, Dallas, Texas. The man says he creates homecoming services for people. And so his homecoming services are very unique to whatever the family wants. And essentially his motto is there's nothing that you can ask him for that he won't accomplish for you. And so in a couple of at least the promo clip, because they haven't done any episodes beginning of January. They haven't done any episodes, but in a couple clips I saw, the one that really struck me the most was there was a man who apparently in his town or city or whatever, he was known as the barbecue man. Everybody knew to have him had the best barbecue in town from what the article suggested. So the family said, he the barbecue man. So for his funeral, they apparently requested that rather than him have a casket to be buried in, they created a barrel grill, literally, anybody knows anything about barbecue, you know what a barrel grill looks like. And rather than bury him in a casket, they buried him in a barrel grill.
Okay.
They had pallbearers dressed in chef hats with aprons on, carrying his barrel grill casket.
I think that's where they took it too far.
Down the aisle. Because again, they wanted to celebrate the idea that he was the best barbecue man in the city, So that was one example, which that one, it's a little far-fetched, but I said, you know what? That one might not be so bad. But the one that killed me after that, though, is there was another man who was apparently known as the Disco Man. So they knew him to be the Disco Man. So what they did for his funeral is they had the casket, they had fog, blowing and wherever the service was being held. So they had the fog going, in the 70s, fog was big. So they had the fog going. And then in addition to the fog, they had the flashing colored lights going. This is at the homecoming service now. The casket is there, the fog is going, the lights are flashing. Everybody in the building is kind of dressed sort of in a more of a 70s type attire, and in addition to that, they had a disco line.
Wow.
They had a disco line at the funeral, along with the fog lights and the flashing lights. I'm just saying, best funeral ever.
I need TLC to go ahead and cancel that right now. Don't delay it. Just cancel it.
And it was owned by a black man, right?
I'm gonna say this.
You can't make that up, though, bro.
I've been known to cook a little good barbecue every now and then, and Brother Real, so have you. But if I pass and y'all put me in the barbecue grill, I'm gonna get up and slap all y'all. Every last one. I'm just gonna get up. Y'all don't stop this mess.
Slap everybody in their face. Who did this?
Man, please.
Foolishness. This is what I'm talking about. Just foolishness that's on TV nowadays. Like, out of control.
You can't even make that up, though, man.
Out of
That's
control.
crazy.
A man buried in a barbecue grill.
This sounds like he started his funeral home just to get a show on TV.
No. Yeah. I mean, the man's been in business for years, it seems. But, hey. I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, it is a crazy idea, but is it hurting anybody?
I guess not.
Is it honoring the individual that's being buried?
I guess.
I mean, so what's the problem? I mean, they could have had, grills on the outside of the place, serving barbecue chicken and rib plates when they got out. You know what I'm saying?
Right. At the repast, serve barbecue.
That would have been better.
There you go. Class.
Yeah, that would have been better.
In addition to the barbecue grill casket. I mean, come on, man.
Out of control.
I think where they took it too far is with the pallbearers in the chef uniform. Like, look, bro. Yes, you can cook, but I'm gonna put my suit on. I'm not wearing no chef outfit to no funeral. Talking about he could cook.
Oh man, hilarious, man! You can't make that
my
up,
dad
man.
could cook. We showed up in no chef uniforms.
Yeah, man, we'll have to. Like I say, personally, I got to see what happens on this show, because in the promo spot, the owner was basically saying, like I said, he said he'll do whatever they want. If you want to jump out of an airplane, he'll help you jump out the airplane.
Gotcha.
If you want to dunk a basketball hoop over the casket, he'll help you dunk a basketball.
Can you imagine that somebody in the Jordan pose, just dead in the mug, just.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
Hey, you know what he is though? I'm sure he is.
He's a hustler. That's what
he's a hustler, and he's probably wealthy because
I'm sure
to put on crazy stuff like that. They had another one where they had the funeral in a boxing ring.
What?
They had the casket sitting in the middle of the boxing ring, and then the people sitting in the stands. Just like you'd be at a boxing match. I'm assuming the guy must have been a boxer of some kind.
Okay. Well, see that.
Or maybe he loved boxing. I don't know, but the whole thing was boxing.
If your name ain't Muhammad Ali,
right? Yeah.
I don't even want to see Mike Tyson in no funeral in the boxing ring. I'm talking about. I need a legend that's still alive. They're like, okay, that's Muhammad Ali. We understand that. But come on, bro.
Come on, man.
Well, I'd like to say he found it. I guess the funeral home market could be a little saturated now, and he found his niche.
He found a niche, man.
I guess do what you got to do to make your money.
Yeah, man.
I ain't mad at him. I ain't mad at him. No, I ain't mad at him.
That's what it's about, man. That's what it's about.
That ain't my thing.
Somebody told me to tell you will not be buried in a barbecue pit.
I don't know. We might.
You will not.
Had a little grill up there. We gonna fit you inside that little grill in the back. Okay. Hey, we gonna fold you up like a wing. Just
that was from your wife. She said, we ain't having it.
Oh man,
people not gonna be looking at her like she crazy.
We'll have them in a big pan of macaroni and cheese. That's good.
Oh my God.
Just serve it at the funeral. That's all you gotta do. But one last comment here as time winds down. Of course, on Christmas Day, assuming the Connecticut shootings don't postpone this as well, Django Unchained is coming out. Now, Django Unchained, if you haven't heard about what Django Unchained is, it's the latest Quentin Tarantino movie that's coming out. Christmas Day it's supposed to come out. The premise of the movie is you have Jamie Foxx starring as a slave by the name of Django. The D is silent. He will tell you apparently in the film. By the name of Django, who gets recruited by a bounty hunter to find some gentlemen who ultimately end up kidnapping his wife and then selling his wife off to some other slave master. It's all built around the time period of slaves. I think they said a couple of years before the Civil War, I believe was what I read. And so him and this the bounty hunter recruits Jamie Foxx's character Django to go and find the men who stole his wife so that they can kill them for the bounty, and then he can also get his wife back. And so that's sort of the premise of the movie. Again, it's based in that sort of slavery time period. So one of the biggest criticisms is that you have Quentin Tarantino, a white man, have written this movie and directed this movie that has apparently a upteen amount number of uses.
110.
110 times uses the N-word in this script. Which
why are we counting?
Which for me,
that's part of the article that I read.
Which for me, I don't really have a problem with the use of the N-word in the film, being that this is a slavery-based film.
Yeah.
So I mean, if it's a slavery-based film, what do you expect them to? He ain't finna be calling black people,
right?
African
Americans.
They ain't gonna be saying African Americans
as they whip you.
Take
that African American.
So, I mean, yes, it was written by a white man, but I mean, if he gonna be true to the era,
right?
He's supposed to have some N-words in there. If there's no N-words, then he ain't being true.
No.
That's the fictional truth.
Sound very different.
But so that's one of the criticisms. And then of course there's apparently there's a lot of violence. Like I said, they're bounty hunters looking to kill people. And of course, Jamie Foxx's character in particular is a slave who got recruited to be a bounty hunter. So now he's chasing down white men. He's not chasing slaves. So
he gonna be looking to do some killing.
He gonna be looking to do some killing, especially as many white men he can see. He probably gonna be killing. So there's been a lot of controversy just around the idea. This from the background of this is there's a lot of black actors that apparently read for the film, but due to the nature and the content of the movie said, man, you ain't getting me to play this character. I heard Will Smith was one of those people that kind of turned it down, and others on his level. But Jamie's a risk taker. And from all indications, I haven't heard anything as far as a film critic's review of the film. I haven't heard anything negative. And so, in Quentin Tarantino, I'm a fan of Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, I like him too.
He does a very good job.
That's what I like.
He does a very good job at creating movies and telling stories. So I expect nothing less than a good story. So I for one, am looking forward to seeing Django Unchained. Hopefully I can get out on Christmas Day, at least that week. At least. What are you guys thinking? 407-894.
Hold on. Let me tell you what I'm thinking. Why y'all going to movies on Christmas?
A family outing.
Okay. If it's a family outing, okay. But no. Why? Why? What's wrong with sitting around the house and eating? It's supposed to be like Thanksgiving to the max. Except everybody a little nicer.
That might be their family outing. What I do have a problem is, why is it being released on Christmas Day?
I mean, a
lot of people go to the movies
because it's a
Christmas Day.
family out, just like you said.
But it's like,
it's so funny how
the season. And
but it's so funny. That's how the things done shape the market. Christmas Day, Thanksgiving Day, they big movie premiere weekends now. It used to be 4th of July weekend. Now they're dropping them on Thanksgiving and Christmas. I don't care about turkey. I want to go see what's The Hobbit about.
The Hobbit should be a very good movie too, by the way.
Actually, I'm going to check that out because I saw The Lord of the Rings. So by nature, I got to.
You got to complete the story.
It was good. I saw it today.
Okay.
It was good.
All right. Long too, I bet. About 4 hours.
Yeah. I went in at 1:50, got out at 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy. Really, Peter Jackson? Really?
Yeah. All the Lord of the Rings were like that too, though.
No.
It was like that too.
I should have known better.
Yeah, you should.
I should have known better. I was like, why am I in here this long? Dang.
At least hopefully he was engaged at least.
I was. I mean, towards the end, it was like, okay, I think I've been in here for a little longer than I should. When are they going to get there? And then it does its thing. So it was good, though, surprisingly. I went in like, this isn't going to be good. But it was good.
Cool beans. Cool beans.
Can I ask you, why would you go into a 3-hour movie thinking it wouldn't be good?
It could be not good.
Okay. Maybe I'm wording it wrong. If I know a movie 3 hours, I wouldn't. If I thought it wasn't good, I wouldn't go see it. At least not at the movies. Let me say that. I might rent it for $1.28. But other than that,
75 at the discount.
Oh, okay. But I'm just saying I wouldn't go to a movie I know is long if I didn't think it was good. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I went with my mama. She wanted to go see it, so.
That's a good excuse.
I wanted to go with my mama.
Yeah, that makes sense. That explains it all.
I was just tagging along.
Oh, okay.
Well, we'll see what happens, man. Like I said, I'm looking forward to the Django Unchained and seeing it sometime next week. I think it's just gonna be a great film. It is gonna push the envelope, but
it just should.
That's what Quentin Tarantino does.
That's what he does.
He pushes the envelope.
But movies should push the envelope. I'm tired of the same movies.
Definitely. If nothing else, you're never gonna claim Quentin Tarantino didn't give you something with some sort of originality to it. That's one claim to fame that he will never be argued about, or bringing something different to the table. You may not like it, but he's gonna bring something. He's gonna bring something different to the table. I mean, Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs.
I still ain't seen Reservoir Dogs. I've been looking for that.
Oh, you gotta see that, brother.
Yeah, I know. I've been looking for it.
I mean, Jackie Brown. I mean, Kill Bill. The man does some great writing and great directing. So shout out Django Unchained. Hopefully you go see it sometime.
I'm waiting for the next Madea movie to come out personally.
Okay.
I'm done.
All right.
Done.
I knew that was gonna get a rise out y'all. I knew that was gonna get a rise.
Right.
I'm ready for Tyler Perry to create something that without Madea. That's what I'm ready for.
Yeah, he has. As long as he don't do no Alex Cross.
They making a sequel to that, as a matter of fact.
Oh, he in it?
He is.
No, man, they been better off getting Morgan Freeman.
I think they would have too.
Let him limp around the corner, jumping, shooting.
Hey man, we wound it down.
Nah,
I want to say
I can't run that fast no more.
I want to say happy holidays to everybody. Have a good Christmas. Christmas is a week away. Have a good New Year. If you don't have anything to do on New Year's Eve, I'll invite you out to our church, the Experience Christian Center. We're gonna be over at Jones High. Service starts at 9:30. There's gonna be a lot of things going on. A lot of artists performing. There's going to be some performances by the children and the youth in our church. So if you got nothing else to do, Experience Christian Center, Jones High, New Year's Eve. That'll be something you can do.
Yeah, if you don't feel like going over there, if you're in the Parker area, you can stop by Wakava Auditorium and visit the New Life Church of Orlando, Church of God in Christ with Pastor Derek W. Hutchins. We doing our thing. We don't got all the artists, but we doing our thing too.
That's right.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas,
Happy
everybody.
New Year. Be safe and blessed with your family.
That's right. 1680 WOKB. We will see you in the new year. Signing off, your host, J. Real, Real Family Talk. You can follow us on Facebook, Real Family Talk. You can follow us on Twitter, Real Family Talk. The website, realfamilytalk.weebly.com.
WOKB, Winter Garden, Orlando.